everyone, and welcome back to Hannah's Happy Home, and welcome to my kitchen where we will be spending the majority of today's video. So today's video is going to be a food prep, restock, and meal ideas video. So a lot of inspiration and ideas are going to be in today's video. We recently added some upgrades to our kitchen, so I want to start off this video by showing you our new vent hood and also electric range. We have really been loving this setup, and there's so many features that I love about this that I want to share with you here quickly before we start this food prep. So this is the Faux Tile Fresh Bake 30-inch electric range. This is the world's first range that cleans as it cooks, which I was really excited about because I do not like to clean ovens. It has a PCF filter that eliminates 90% of harmful emissions, VOCs, grimy grease, and smelly smoke. It has a removable top vent that allows effortless maintenance and deep cleaning, and then it also has a steam self-cleaning feature with enameled interior and seamless welding. You'll get to see me use this range throughout today's video, and you'll get to see all the different modes and everything. It has 9 different modes, including air fry, convention bake, proofing, and Sabbath mode. So I'll briefly talk about this vent hood before we do a grocery haul because it's been really awesome. We've loved this. So it syncs automatically with the range. So if I go and turn this front burner on high, that will activate the range hood and it will open up with the light and also turn on the fan. Something else I wanted to add, I love that the knobs and screen are in the front, and then I also love that this range is flush with our countertop. Our other one had this big lip, and so food was always getting stuck around there. This one I can just wipe straight across as I'm wiping off the countertop. So anyway, let's get started with today's video. I'm going to be starting off with a grocery haul. So I went to Costco, got a big restock of groceries, and I'll give you a quick overview of everything that I got. Over here we've got all the fruits and veggies, bananas, lemons, oranges, peppers, potatoes, sweet potatoes, carrots, avocados, flour, honey, maple syrup, diced tomatoes. These were on sale for a really good price. Of course, I got my cheese, my different frozen items in here, white corn, strawberries, green beans, mixed veggies. We got fresh blueberries, mushrooms, 2 types of lettuce, sour cream over there, tortillas, butter, chicken sausage, cottage cheese, bone broth, pickles, raw sauerkraut, some lightly breaded chicken breast fillets. You'll see the recipe I'm making with that later. A package of organic sweet rolls, 2 bags of the Parmesan bagels, and I would love to make homemade sourdough bagels someday, but for now I'm just going to buy these. More tortillas, and then over here is all the meat that I got. Okay, so now that all of that food is put away and organized in the fridge and the pantry, now we're going to start working at some food prep, and I'm going to start off by prepping some food for the fridge. I want to make some boiled eggs, egg muffins, and also some blueberry muffins. It's been a couple of weeks since I have prepped any food to keep in the fridge or the freezer for easy meals, and I've been really busy the last couple of weeks, so I have missed having easy food that I can pull out because every day I have to stop what I'm doing, make breakfast, make lunch, supper, and on those busy days it would be super nice to be able to pull out a freezer meal or pull out something that's prepped in the fridge for lunch. I've really been loving the burners on this Faux Tile cooktop. This has 5 different burners, and then the 2 front ones have different sizes. So I've got 6, 9, and 12 inches on the right, and then 6 and 10 inches on the left. There's precision custom cooking zones, custom dual and triple cooking zones. Also love the type of glass on this range. It's completely different than the glass on my previous range. That glass scratched so easily and it was just covered in scratches. But this one I can tell is not going to scratch easily and it will be easy to clean. Okay, so we're mixing up the egg muffins over here, and for these you can put in any type of add-ins that you would like. You could do bacon bits, sausage, chopped up peppers, onions. So I put all of my eggs into the mixer, and then you'll add in your cottage cheese. It's just easier to do it in a blender when you're adding cottage cheese because it helps it all to blend together really well. I add in my seasoning, and then you'll stir in your add-ins like your shredded cheese and the peppers and the spinach. I use these unbleached parchment paper muffin liners anytime I'm making muffins or cupcakes, and usually you don't have to spray these with cooking spray, but when you're making the egg muffins, be sure that you spray the inside of your muffin liners. I didn't spray the inside previously and the eggs were stuck to the parchment paper so bad, but this time I sprayed them heavily with my avocado oil cooking spray, and the egg muffins just fell right out of the parchment paper. Once they cooled off, I put them into a gallon Ziploc baggie and put those in the freezer. For lunch today, I'm making a creamy beef taco soup, and I'm just making a large pot of this. That way I can put some in the freezer. So toppings for this would be sour cream, shredded cheese, avocado, chopped cilantro, tortilla chips. You could even have cornbread on the side. This is just a really delicious soup for wintertime. Now I'm mixing up some blueberry oat muffins. This is a healthier blueberry muffin recipe, and it was delicious. These did not last one day in my house. They never made it to the freezer. The boys really loved these muffins, so be sure and try this recipe. All the recipes from today's video will be linked and typed up down below in the description box. I really love the size of this oven. It's a larger oven at 5.7 cubic feet, and the glide rack is so nice. It also has this toe kick drawer, which is really handy. There is also a safety lock, which is nice if you have little kids that are gonna try and touch the screen and things. You can hold down that safety lock and it will lock both the cooktop and the oven. I'm going to now start sharing some different meal ideas, and first here I'm cooking some chopped sweet potato, and it did get a little bit smoky. It started to burn. With our previous vent hood, the house would have been filled with smoke, but not with this faux tile vent hood. We've been really impressed. It's got a 90-degree automatic capture shield that contains smoke for a cleaner kitchen environment. This next meal is an easy lunch idea. I just put those pieces of breaded chicken into the oven to bake, and then put those inside of a tortilla with barbecue sauce, shredded cheese, and shredded lettuce. My boys love barbecue chicken wraps. You can do shredded chicken, chopped grilled chicken, any type, and it's just a great easy lunch. Next, I'm sharing a breakfast idea, and that is these bagel egg cheese sandwiches. I've tried a couple different add-ins with the eggs, but the chopped bell peppers was their favorite. So it's scrambled eggs, cheese, and chopped bell peppers inside of these bagels from Costco. And to toast the bagels, I just fried them in a pan with some butter. Before adding the eggs, cut those in half, and it's a great breakfast. You could also put these in the freezer. So next was a new recipe that I was trying, and these are cheeseburger sliders. So you'll add your ground beef, shredded cheese, bake this in the oven for a few minutes, and then top it with Big Mac sauce, pickles, shredded lettuce. These were a bit messy, but this was definitely a big hit. We loved this meal. Now I'm making a Honey Crisp harvest salad with homemade dressing. I had this for lunch several days in a row. It was so good. The first thing you'll do is put some of your ingredients on this pan to toast in the oven. So like your pumpkin seeds, pecans, and you put maple syrup and cinnamon on the pumpkin seeds and the pecans. While that was in the oven, I put my lettuce in a bowl, chopped up the apples, mixed up the homemade dressing, and then pieced it all together, topped with feta cheese. Would highly recommend trying this recipe. It's a great salad for the fall and winter season. Next, I'm making a double batch of taco meat, and we are going to have taco salad for lunch on this day, and then I'm putting the rest of the taco meat in a gallon-sized baggie in the freezer. I should just always keep taco meat in the freezer because it's so easy to pull out, and you can add it to a casserole, a soup, have tacos, taco salad, whatever. The last meal idea is pulled pork bowls, but this is actually shredded elk meat, but you could do like shredded beef, you could do shredded pork, chicken, whatever you would like. And then I did a coleslaw mixture, some rice, and then pickles. Top that with a little bit of barbecue sauce, and these bowls were delicious. Good morning, everyone. So this morning I'm going to be focusing on making cookies, and the cookies that I'm making are more of healthier options. I'm going to be doing a lot of pumpkin cookies, some pecan pie bites, also doing some grab and go breakfast cookies, and most of these will be going in the freezer. Cookies and muffins are great items to prep ahead of time and put in the freezer. You could just even plan to, every time you make a batch of cookies, double the recipe and put one batch in the freezer, or double your muffin recipe. I've been filming this video off and on over the last 2 weeks, so we've been using this faux tile range and vent hood a lot, and both Jalen and I have loved it. We love every feature. It's just been an awesome addition to our kitchen. So there is also a proof setting on this faux tile stove, and right now I do have some bread rising. I might pop it in here on the proof setting halfway through the day, just because I'm a little bit limited on time. I really want to bake that bread before tonight because I want to take it to my sister-in-law's. Now I'm making grab and go breakfast cookies. The ingredients are banana, butter, honey, vanilla, rolled oats, cinnamon, baking powder, salt, raisins, dark chocolate chip, and also flax seeds. When you put these on the pan to bake them, be sure that you press them down before you bake them, and then you may also have to press them a little bit once they come out of the oven. That way they don't fall apart. But these are great when you want to have something sweet with your coffee in the morning, but you still want it to be kind of healthy, and also great when you're heading out the door. You can just grab one of these and go. The next cookies I'm making are pumpkin breakfast cookies. These were probably our least favorite. They're a very moist cookie and just taste very strong of pumpkin. Okay, so I've been trying to clean up in between each recipe, just clearing off this area, wiping it down. That just helps to stay on top of the mess. Otherwise, it can get out of control really quickly when you're doing so many different recipes. So the next recipe I'm doing is this healthy 5-ingredient pecan pie bites. These look really good, so we'll see if they actually taste good. It is 1 cup of pecans, 1 cup of dates, 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar or monk fruit. I'm probably just going to use regular sugar because I don't have either of those. A pinch of sea salt, vanilla, cinnamon, and chocolate chips. You probably could almost add maple syrup to this as well. Put everything in the food processor until a sticky dough forms. We're going to form those into balls and place them on a lined cookie sheet, flatten them down slightly, put them in the freezer, and then we'll melt the chocolate and put a pecan on top of every bite. This one turned out really good. Would definitely recommend trying this recipe. So I've kind of sectioned this video into different sections. First I was giving meal ideas, now we were making some cookies, and now we're going to start prepping several freezer meals. I wanted to talk a little bit more about this faux tile range. It's really awesome that this range is a fresh bake technology and is designed to actively purify the air while you cook. And the range hood offers 98% odor elimination and 95% oil filtration to help keep the kitchen air clean. And when I'm baking dishes back to back like this, I don't have to worry about flavor transfer because of that fresh bake internal filtration system. We have seen such an improvement in our kitchen since we switched to this range and vent hood. Like I said, our house doesn't fill with smoke, the smell doesn't linger for so long. The links for the faux tile range and also the vent hood will be down below, and I do have a discount code for you guys for the fresh bake range, and that is Hannah300. That discount code will give you the lowest price available. So I cooked sausage on the stove, and then I whisked together eggs, milk, seasoning before piecing together this breakfast casserole. And this is one of our favorite breakfast casseroles. Usually make this at least once every 2 months or so. It's great when you have company, or it also makes a great freezer meal. So you will put your crescent rolls in the bottom, and then you'll add your ground sausage, and then pour on your egg mixture, top it with some cheese. This next freezer meal is lasagna. Lasagna, I think, is one of the easiest freezer meals to make. It just freezes so well, and I am cooking the noodles ahead of time. That way this doesn't have to bake very long. And a few of my sister-in-laws have recently had babies, and I've been wanting to give them another meal, and so some of these freezer meals probably will be going to them, and then the rest I'll just be pulling out on busy days. I was baking the bones for the bone broth, and it got a little bit smoky in here due to there being so much grease on these pans. Any remaining smoke or smell was further filtered by the range hood, and it was crazy to see how fast it just disappeared. My next two freezer meals is a chicken, rice, and veggie casserole. This was supposed to be chicken, rice, and broccoli casserole, but I realized I didn't have any broccoli, so I just did mixed vegetables. I was also making a soup at the same time that we had for lunch, and I also just made a large pot of this one. That way I could put 2 gallon-sized baggies of this soup in the freezer. And this is a creamy chicken green chili soup, and soups are always an easy meal to freeze. So lastly, I am making homemade bone broth. This is delicious in recipes, and it's also great for gut health. I've been trying to drink bone broth every day recently, and so I'm excited to have my own homemade bone broth to drink. I'm going to put 2 of these jars in the fridge, and then the rest of the jars will go in the freezer. So when you're making bone broth, usually it's good to boil the bones for 12 to 24 hours. You could also do up to 48 hours. I boiled this for 24 hours, also added in some seasoning, some rosemary, and carrots and celery. Okay, so here is all the jars of the completed homemade bone broth, and also here is all of that freezer food that I prepped and the freezer meals. I hope that you enjoyed today's food prep and food restock video. I hope that it gave you a lot of motivation and inspiration. A big thank you to Faux Tile for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to go and check out their Fresh Bake Electric range, and you can get a discount with my code Hannah300. I hope you have a blessed week, and I'll see you next week with a new video. Bye!